In this video, we are going to talk about how to set up schedules in Sage 300. Schedules can be used to create recurring entries in different modules in Sage 300. So the modules you can attach a schedule to would be accounts receivable for recurring billing. If you have a client that gets an invoice at a specific time, monthly or quarterly or whatever. Accounts payable for recurring things that are going to be the same, like maybe your gas and electric bill or something like that, or general ledger journal entries such as payroll accruals or depreciation or any other entry that you do on a regular basis, and this saves you from having to type all that in every single month. So what we have to do is we go into common services and then we go into the scheduling option here. The two items in scheduling, there's the reminder list and the schedule. So the reminder list is when you have a user that's going to get reminded that a specific schedule is due. So we'll look at that when we're setting up our schedule. So my first example is going to be a bi-weekly situation, and what I've got is I've given it a code. You can make a pretty generic code. You don't need to create a code for every specific recurring item if they're going to be using the same schedule. So, for example, in this one, monthly on the last day, maybe that's when you do your appreciation, or maybe you're amortizing prepaids or something like that. Schedule for all of those entries. So in this example, we've got reminders, which I mentioned over on reminder lists. And the reminder is set for a specific user, user admin, to be reminded 15 days before it's due. The schedule recurring period options are daily, weekly, semi-monthly, monthly, and yearly. And the reminders are going to pop up every month or every 2 months or every 3 months for quarterly. So you have to tell it the frequency and then what day of the month. So it can be on any of the days of the month. In this example, it's the last day. But the last day will pick up whatever the last day of the month is, whether it's the 31st, the 30th, or in February, the 28th or 29th. And then you just save that. You also give the schedule a start date. So that's when you can start using it in either APA or General Ledger. In my bi-weekly example, I've got my recurring period set for weekly every 2 weeks on a Friday. So for a payroll accrual, you have to decide whether you want the payroll entry to happen on the date of pay or the period end date. In this example, I'm assuming that they get paid on a Friday, and that's when I'm doing my payroll entry. So I'm going to save that. And once you create your schedules, then you can assign them in General Ledger under GL Setup Recurring Entries. And I will cover that in a separate video. Or accounts receivable under vendors, recurring payables, or an accounts payable under vendors, recurring payables, or an accounts receivable under AR customers, recurring charges. And that's how you work with schedules in Sage 300.